So the last line of dialogue in this episode was, how much worse could it possibly get? And that is spoken by Raffi. Well, thank you, Raffi. You summed up my feelings on this show precisely. Hello and welcome to Enchantment of Eternity's review for Star Trek Picard Season 2, Episode 6, 2 of 1. This video is a part of a series of videos where I review episodes of Star Trek Picard, so I have to start with a spoiler warning for Picard. If you have not seen up to this episode, you will not want to watch this video, otherwise some things will be spoiled for you. So, what the fuck was this shit? Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Alright, I'm kidding. Obviously, that's not just going to be my review. But, damn, that episode sucked. Sorry. There's no way to sugarcoat this. Like, I gave the last week's episode and the one before that a 4 out of 10. I said I may downgrade it. I think I will. I think I'll downgrade both of them to, like, 3s or 2s. Honestly, like, I'm not a hater of Modern Trek. I don't hate Discovery Picard. I referred to both shows before as a mixed bag, particularly Season 1 of Picard. Like, there was some really good stuff in Season 1 of Picard. And even, of course, you saw my review for the premiere episode of Season 2. I really liked it. I was like, oh my god, the season looks amazing. I can't believe how low they stooped. Like, this is one of, like, I did like a top 10 like worst episodes of all of Star Trek not that long ago. This might make it. Like, I think this like cracks that top 10. That moment where Jurati was singing, I think to me that's just as bad as like the salamanders from Threshold, or Chakotay, having his boxing match and trying to communicate with the aliens, going, "You are in our space," or Dr. Crusher having sex with this green like ghost that's in the condom. What else is this equivalent? Oh, Cisco's singing with Vic Fontaine in a stupid rip-off heist episode. Like, this is as low as all those moments. Like, when I was watching that, my mouth was literally agape. And I was like, what in the fuck are they doing? Like, seriously. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, Jurati spontaneously decides to slow walk on stage. Why is the spotlight guy holding a spotlight on her? Why is the backup band singing a song for her? Like, she didn't prearrange it. She's just some random party crasher guest, and all of a sudden everyone's like singing and then just happen to be singing the same music that she's singing to, and this clearly is not the actress' voice, by the way. And they put on this huge number and they go, "Whoa! What the fuck was that?" Like, what was that? I honestly think that's worse than the freaking Cisco singing with Vic Fontaine, which I didn't think much could be. And I think it's worse than, maybe even worse than the Salamander babies. Like, what is this? What is going on? Like, what's happening? I don't even know if I want to talk about this episode. Like, this, I think Star Trek Picard sucks. I would be confident in saying that Star Trek Picard is a bad show. Even though there are a lot of moments in Season 1 that I liked, and I really liked the first episode, but I'm liking it less now, seeing where they took the story. And the second episode, and I just slowly started liking it less and less until we hit, boom, rock bottom with this episode. Alright. Well, as I was watching this episode, it kind of occurred to me that I don't care about any of these characters. Like, I don't know them enough. Like, they assume, like, they have this Rios and Girardi, like, you know, apparently they had intercourse as a Borg queen. The whole thing of the Borg queen being, like, inside her head is so dumb! It is like a cheap version of, I mentioned Farscape, but I also forgot about Battlestar Galactica. It's probably the more well-known example of, you know, that woman who was inside Guy Speltar's head. Yeah, and this is like a cheap, crappy version of that. And I hate the Borg Queen! Hate her! And I was really dubious about her kind of weird relationship with Girardi, and it's gotten to this all-time low to the point where that music, what the fuck was up with that musical number? And then, you know, when they raise their head, she's like, oh, those endorphins is exactly what I need to take control. I'm in charge now. This is my plan all along. So stupid. And, what else have we got in this episode? Yeah, because the Rios and Girardi, like, I don't care. Like, I don't know these characters enough to care about the feelings they have for each other because they haven't been well established. And Rios has a thing for this doctor that he met for like 5 minutes, and I don't have any investment in that. I don't have any investment on this fucking ancestor Picard who we met like 5 seconds ago in the previous episode, and all of a sudden she's a huge focus, and Picard comes and gives this inspirational speech. This is blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't buy any of this. None of this. This is terrible writing. And then the fucking Soong, like, just crashes Picard and he's all upset. Oh, I gotta save it. And I had no investment in him. And if, at first, I felt like, at the very least, because they just shoehorn him into the season like out of nowhere all of a sudden as well. And then I thought, well, at least I can identify him because he's trying to save his daughter's life. But now they admit that it's not really his daughter. He thinks of it as my life work, and apparently she's like some genetically created being or whatever, and that's why he's interested in her. It's not really her daughter. It's my life's work. They took away the one sliver that I was holding on to this character that I actually cared about. Now I don't care about him at all. I don't care about this fucking Watcher who is supposed to be like Gary Seven, which they're referencing a shitty ass episode, and she seems to have these technology things. And what the fuck was with this bullshit at the end of the episode where they took Picard to the doctor and they were like, oh, we gotta start his heart, and he's a fucking android. Like, he doesn't have a heart. What's going on? What is happening? Like, they tried to reference that with, you know, the fucking, when they put the paddles on and it exploded the thing. But, like, if Data got hit by a car, Data would just get up like nothing happened. Why the fuck didn't Picard do that? Like, what is happening here? What is going on? and then they said this bullshit. They're like, oh, Picard's just stuck in his head. He's not. He can help. He, like, I don't know what they said. Is like he just refuses to come out. He's letting the trauma get to him, and he's stuck. And I have to go inside his head to bring him out. Like, that is not how it works. That's not how. That's not a thing. That does not happen in real life. That's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. And now they're setting up for a terrible trope that was done terribly in episodes like Extreme Measures from DS9 and Distant Voices from DS9, where someone goes inside the other person's head to try to bring him out, which is, they're setting up for a terrible trope from that is nothing but terrible episodes, and all this with characters I don't give a shit about. And there's like musical numbers out of there, and at the end they had like Girardi walking down the street. Oh, it's the Borg Queen. Dun, 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 dun. Like, I care. I don't. It sucks. This is terrible. Like, I did not think modern Star Trek was as bad as people were saying it's being until I saw this episode. This episode has proven the haters right. I don't know. I really don't know what else to say about this episode. Like, alright. My rating for 2 of 1 out of 10 is a 1! The worst! Clearly, one of the worst episodes in all of Star Trek. Honestly, this is probably breaches my top 10 worst episodes of all time. You know, everyone's getting really excited about the reunion. They just announced that the Next Generation cast is returning for season 3 of Picard. I'm not excited because it's a shit show. The writers suck, clearly. I actually shudder at the thought of how they're gonna ruin these other characters. Now, granted, they handled Riker really well in season 1. That was my favorite episode of Picard. I actually loved the episode Riker and Troy appeared. Actually, they did Troy justice. But after seeing this season, I'm sure that we're gonna see these dark and gritty versions of these characters that act nothing like these characters, so they're not really these characters at all. And I wonder who Brent Spiner is going to play this time. Clearly, it's not going to be Data. It's probably going to be Nini and Soon's second cousin twice removed. Clearly, that's who Brent Spiner is going to play in season 3. I had it. I had enough. I probably will review the rest of season 2, but if it doesn't, this season can be saved. By the way, they could have a decent enough ending if they actually pull their head out of their ass. But it's still going to be a bad season overall. It's just a matter of degree now. How bad is the season going to be? Is it going to be absolute shit? Or is it just going to be mostly bad with some good parts in it? Like, right now, if they keep up this quality, it's going to be absolute shit. And here's the thing with Q. Like, I don't understand what the fuck they're doing with Q, because Q clearly brought Picard. He brought all those people, like the main cast members of the show, Rios and all them, with Picard. He protected them from the changes of the timeline so they had their memories intact, so Picard could have help. So why did he do this if his main motivation is to stop Picard and he hires Brent Spiner to kill Picard, like to run him over or whatever? Like, I don't get it. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, nothing about this makes sense. It's terrible. It's part of some of the worst writing I've ever seen in Star Trek. Sorry. Anyway, that's it for my review of Star Trek Picard Season 2, Episode 6. I guess I'll be back next week for Episode 7. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, be sure to check out my channel as I cover actual good Star Trek from the past and other shows like Star Wars, The Clone Wars, The Expanse, and more. So be sure to subscribe so you can keep up with all of that. Thanks a lot for watching.